Hello, this is the Tradesight Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, January 4th, 2015. Welcome to it. And ending Friday, January 9th. Hope you're having a good new year. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Made new highs for a long time here on the last day of the year, the first day of January, anyway, January 2nd there on Friday. And broke through the risk line of that last 13 sell signal on the seeker. So that is interesting. We'll see if it means anything that we're switching to a new year at this point. I don't think that'll have any material impact on Forex. Hopefully our ranges are back to normal, and we'll be going immediately to full size again here. We were half size the last 2 weeks due to the holidays, just sort of lighter activity, but we still won over the 2 weeks anyways. By the way, our results for December are posted, and our results for 2014 are also posted to our market blog if you want to take a look at a good year trading Forex despite some dull times for several months. Here's a look at the euro dollar, and making new lows just like the dollar making new highs. That makes sense. Pound dollar also fell apart here. Now notice what this will do is if I go to projection mode, you're going to hear sound. And there is a 13 seeker buy signal as of the daily chart on Friday. So we'll see if that has any impact on the pound dollar. Here's the Aussie, basically at new lows. Here's the New Zealand also starting to roll. And here's the pound yen. So interesting to see what happened there on the start of the year on Friday, basically. Here's a look at the last week on the euro dollar and 30-minute bars. You can see we declined for the week. Total range was over 200 pips, and we did pretty well in that. Here's a look at the pound dollar. Again, really fell apart on Friday. Big dip, and made some money on that as well to start the year. So 70 pip winner to start the year off was on our trade on Friday on the pound. Now, let's take a look at the economic data that's coming out this week. Again, we're going to go right back to full size. No reason not to now that the holidays are over. Here's a look. Sunday, AIG Manufacturing Index out of Australia, the final manufacturing PMI out of Japan, German preliminary CPI out of Europe, Spanish unemployment change. We got Switzerland's SVME PMI. That's at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday morning. Centex investor confidence out of Europe and construction PMI out of the UK. We've got total vehicle sales. You jump to 2 in the afternoon Eastern Time here in the U.S. That's a U.S. number, not a big deal. Monetary base out of Japan, trade balance out of Australia, HSBC services PMI out of China. Got a 10-year bond auction out of Japan. Going into Tuesday, got an Italian bank holiday. I'm not sure what that's about. We've got final services PMI data out of broad European sector, Spain and Italy separately. Halifax HPI out of the UK, services PMI out of the UK. Bank of England credit conditions survey. We've got 10-year bond auction out of the UK. Canada comes out with their RMPI and IPPI. New Zealand's got the GDT price index. Finally, some U.S. real data. We've got the services PMI data, ISM non-manufacturing, and the factory orders on Tuesday. AIG services index out of Australia that night. To jump to going into Wednesday, German retail sales, German unemployment, Italian monthly unemployment rate. We've got retail PMI out of all of Europe along with the CPI and the unemployment rate out of Europe. We've got the ADP non-farm employment change data out of the U.S. Trade balance out of the U.S. and Canada at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday. That's one of our big three each month. We'll be half size ahead of that. Got the IV PMI out of Canada to follow that. We've got the weekly crude oil inventories. The minutes from the last Fed meeting get released. Australia that night has building approvals. This takes us into Thursday. German factory orders, retail sales, and PPI all out of Europe. French 10-year bond auction. We've got a rate announcement out of the Bank of England. So that will affect the pound dollar, of course. Challenger job cuts. Canada's got their NHPI. We've got unemployment claims out of the U.S., natty gas, consumer credit, building consents out of New Zealand, AIG construction index, and retail sales out of Australia Thursday evening. CPI and PPI out of China. Those are two numbers I always thought should be released together. China does it right. We don't do it right. Finally, going into Friday, still a lot of data. Leading indicators out of Japan, unemployment rate out of Switzerland, German industrial production, German trade balance, French industrial production and trade balance, CPI out of Switzerland. UK's got a slew of data at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time, manufacturing production, trade balance, construction output, industrial production. Canada comes up with their housing starts, building permits, employment change, and unemployment rate And the U.S. also has our non-farm payroll number and unemployment rate. That's the second of the big three within a week, so we'll be half size ahead of Friday as well as Wednesday here in the U.S. That's it. So there's enough going on. Things could start moving again. Back to normal. We'll have calls Sunday through Thursday night for the next day. Everybody have a great trading week. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal.